Well, we're in serious times, so a knock on the door of the workers' cottage might provide some surprising results. Richo, good evening.
Good evening to you, Alan.
Now, the budget. When a Liberal government announces another $74 billion of spending and a deficit that will be just $57 billion in 24-25, and then tackles childcare, aged care, mental health, women's safety, where does Labor go tomorrow night?
Well, all I know is that Josh is welcome in our party now, and anytime he wants to sign up, then I'm there to second the motion. You know, I think he's done very well. He's a great Labor treasurer, and there should be more of it. I mean, can you imagine a Liberal government under Howard spending what was spent last night? Because I can't.
No, absolute. And can you imagine a Labor government spending it and the outrage that would come from the Liberal Party?
Exactly. If this was Chalmers as Treasurer doing this, then people would be screaming everywhere. And yet you think about it, and it's just a case of the Liberals knowing that you're in a very serious time, that the times couldn't be worse in some respects. We've had such a horrible couple of years that some spending's necessary. I don't think anyone seriously doubts that, do they?
Well, look, when you talk net debt by 2024-25, $980 billion, if you're lucky, gross debt $1.2 trillion. And Josh Frydenberg says it's a strong economy, and this is what the coalition stands for. What do you think, as a Labor voter, coalition voters would be thinking?
Well, coalition voters should be horrified about the $1 trillion mark being about to be hit, which it is. I mean, I think that's extraordinary. But that having been said, I don't know what else you do at the moment. I mean, the Liberals have to take a Labor stance on this because there's no other way. You can't turn around and start making cuts at the moment. That would be a disaster for the economy. I think everyone would agree with that.
No, I think the question is why we put the economy into a coma at the outset. We all knew the vulnerable were people 70 and over. We knew that people below that weren't really going to be affected. 99.6% of the cases were mild, but we spent as if it was going out of style. What can Albanese do tomorrow night then by way of reply?
Well, I mean, by the way, I don't believe that you can ever do much in reply to the budget because I don't think that there's ever much seriousness and gravity given to it. But that having been said, what he's got to do is stand up and say he doesn't believe they can deliver. He doesn't believe that there's any way in the world that the tax cuts that are promised are going to get there. And he's going to say, if you're a working class person, don't hang by the neck waiting for Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison to save you.
Well, I'll just say one thing to watch tomorrow night, and this childcare thing is going to be a big electoral issue. Last night they didn't announce the detail, but the governor is going to say there'll be a 95% reduction in childcare costs for the second and third child. But there aren't a lot of families with a second and third child. Albanese tomorrow night will say he'll give a 90% rebate, non-means tested, for God's sake, non-means tested for everyone in childcare. I'll tell you what, it's most prudent.
I do not believe in doing that, I've got to say. If Albo's going to do that, he won't have me giving him a tick.
Well, you have to vote
I reckon when the crunch comes, mate, you pay if you got the dough. And if you haven't got the dough, you get helped.
Well, you'll have to vote Liberal. Good on you, Richo.
No, you'll have to vote Labor.
Talk to you next week. There he is, Graham Richardson.